And why is this, broadly speaking, important for the game that you govern?
So good morning to you all. So this project has been underway for over 5 years now, and we published our Distance Insights report just before the COVID pandemic. But at that time, it was very clear in our minds that we needed to find a solution to update and change the rules around the ball, and work out what is the best way to do that. And over the last 2 years, we have been working with the whole of the industry, examining ideas, seeking feedback, adjusting comment, all with the intention of ensuring that what we were trying to achieve was protecting the integrity of our golf courses, ensuring a variety of skills within the game, but also being very cognizant of our environmental responsibility around the size and the property that golf courses sit on. And so over this, we issued a monolocal rule earlier in the year that received some strong feedback across the industry, mainly around bifurcation and speed. And what we're announcing today is a reflection of all that feedback into a change in the rule that will affect the whole of the game, but changing the speed by which a golf ball is changed becomes conforming. And the impact of that broadly is 15 yards for the fastest, 10 yards for an average tour player, and less than 5 yards for a recreational golfer.
And I'll just add to that. Morning, Rich and Damon. I think you both know this, but I'm not sure all of your viewers do. We've been together with the R&A testing golf balls for conformance for over 50 years. And all the way back to 1976, when we set up that test, it was designed to replicate the fastest players in the game. We've updated that test numerous times, 1980, 2002, 2004. But it's been 20 years since we've updated that test. And there is virtually no denying, although some will try, there is no denying what's happened to distance in the last 20 years, and quite frankly, 20 before that. In 2000, the longest players on the tour, which is the most robust data, were 20 yards longer than they were in 1980. And when you jump from 2000 to 2023, it's another 20 yards longer. So an average about a yard a year, and that's been kind of the pace. So when we look back at our test, we realized that we were testing ball speeds of 176 miles an hour. When you take the top 25 players on tour this year, 2023, and you take their ball speed over the course of a whole season, they average 183 miles an hour. So our test was built at 176, which back in 2002 and 2004 was believed to be kind of the criteria for longest players in the game. So in this change that we've recommended and we're moving forward with in 2028, we'll be ball testing at 183, 125 mile an hour clubhead speed, which in this case will generate 183. So that will more align. Now, neither Martin and I believe in 2028 that the fastest players in the game will be at 183. They'll probably be faster, and that's okay. This is based on what we know today, and we think it'll still be relevant. It'll certainly be a lot more relevant than the 176 we've tested at. As Martin said, it's been a long process, almost 6 years now. We started with research, went to proposals, went to industry comment periods, and those proposals turned into quite a bit of revision, maybe more revision than either Martin and I thought when we started. But there'll be nobody who's been part of this interaction that can claim that their voice isn't part of this final outcome in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't mean they'll all like it. I get that. But they are definitely embedded in there, whether it was changes we made to how we did the testing, which with a lot of manufacturers helped us on, pace to the market. We were really focused on 2026, but manufacturers and others asked us for more time, which is how we got to 2028. As Martin said, we were pretty focused on a model local rule that will allow us to make changes at the highest level and sort of leave the rest of the game unchanged. But we got pretty clear feedback that if you gave the model local rule to some of the tours around the world, it was unlikely it was going to get implemented. And this has never been a paper exercise for Martin and I. And so creating something that really doesn't affect the game longer term wasn't an option. So we think this strikes the best balance. And I will say there'll be no doubt that over the next week, days, years, there'll be alarmists and there'll be people screaming about distance losses that are just, quite frankly, unfounded relative to the truth. As Martin said, This is going to have a 0 to 5 yard impact on the driver of our average recreational golf, depending on how much ball speed they can generate. I say 0 because about a third of the golf ball models that are already on our conforming list today will still be on our conforming list in 2028. So if you're a golfer who's already playing that front tee and you're using a ball to kind of help you get as much as your game as you can, that ball is more than likely to still be approved in 2028. And so we would see 0 impact. But even if you go to something different, we're talking about something less than less than 5 yards on your driver, and we see no impact from 5-iron down, no matter what level player we're seeing. So I just don't want the alarmist to take over the day. We've been from the very beginning, and Martin's been the loudest, to his credit, from every time, every meeting, every call, every proposal. If it had an impact on the recreational game that we thought could reduce either the excitement, the joy, or the desire to play this game, it's been off the table.